Look, it's all a witch hunt. Here we are talking about some of the greatest business deals ever made. The greatest companies in the world are moving into the United States, and you want to ask about whether or not Signal works. I don't know that Signal works. I think Signal could be defective, to be honest with you. And I think that's what we have to, because you use Signal and we use Signal and everybody uses Signal, but it could be a defective platform, and we're going to have to find that out.
Obviously, someone made a mistake. Someone made a big mistake.
Hitherto unpublished messages were made public by The Atlantic from the Signal group chat of top Trump officials show the massive breach in operational security, as specific sensitive information about the attack of Houthi targets was shared before it was carried out. So far, the Trump administration has discredited journalist Jeffery Goldberg, calling him a sleazeball on numerous occasions. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and other top national security officials claimed nothing classified was shared in the chat. However, a U.S. defense official familiar with the operation and another source who was briefed on it afterwards said the information was highly classified at the time he wrote it. U.S. Secretary of the State Marco Rubio on Wednesday, that is March 26, said a group chat on encrypted messaging service Signal about attack plans against the Houthis was set up for the purposes of coordinating, but someone made a big mistake by adding a journalist. President Donald Trump continued to downplay the incident. The president called the reporting and the reaction a witch hunt during remarks in the Oval Office.
They have been hit harder than they've ever been hit. And they want us to stop so badly, and they've got to stop. They've got to say no mas. But I can only say that the attacks, it's attacks every day, every night. It's not just the one, you're talking about one. The attacks have been very successful, even beyond our wildest expectations. We've hit them very hard, very successfully, and we're going to do it for a long time. We're going to keep it going for a long time. Want to find if there's any mistake, or if Signal doesn't work. It could be that Signal is not very good. It's a company. Maybe it's not very good. I think we'd rather know about it now. Well, yeah, Mike Waltz, I guess he said he claimed responsibility, I would imagine. It had nothing to do with anyone else. It was Mike, I guess. I don't know. I was told it was Mike. But again, the attacks were unbelievably successful, and that's ultimately what you should be talking about, I think. Mike he took responsibility for it. Hegseth is doing a great job. He had nothing to do with this. Hegseth, how do you bring Hegseth into it? He had nothing to do with it. Look, it's all a witch hunt. Here we are talking about some of the greatest business deals ever made. The greatest companies in the world are moving into the United States, and you want to ask about whether or not Signal works. I don't know that Signal works. I think Signal could be defective, to be honest with you. And I think that's what we have to, because you use Signal and we use Signal and everybody uses Signal, but it could be a defective platform, and we're going to have to find that out.
This thing was set up for purposes of coordinating how everyone was going to call. When these things happen, I need to call foreign ministers, especially of our close allies. We need to notify members of Congress. Other members of the team have different people they need to notify as well. And that was the purpose of why it was set up. Obviously, someone made a mistake. Someone made a big mistake and added a journalist. Nothing against journalists, but you ain't supposed to be on that thing. Numbers, what the numbers show, because you've made very impressive.
Is it classified, the information?
Well, the Pentagon says it was not. And not only did they say it was not, they make very clear that it didn't put in danger anyone's life or the mission. There was no intelligence information. And understand, when this story first broke, they were sort of alluding to were there war maps, or there was no war plans on there. This was a sort of description of what we could inform our counterparts around the world when the time came to do so. Again, look, I think the White House is looking at this entire thing. How did that journalist get on there? Why was this the appropriate? And I think there'll be reforms and changes made, so this was not going to happen again. It can't.